You sure about this, Lisa?
Tom asked, his voice barely a whisper.
Don't be scared, Tom. It's just an old house.
The Blackwood Manor loomed before them, dark and imposing against the twilight sky. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out at them. Taking a deep breath, Lisa pushed open the creaking gate. Tom hesitated, then followed. The air inside the house was heavy with dust and the silence of ages. Cobwebs clung to every surface, and the musty smell made Lisa wrinkle her nose.
See, just an old, dusty...
A floorboard groaned somewhere in the darkness above them. Tom jumped, his eyes wide. Lisa swallowed, her bravado fading. The silence was no longer empty, it hummed with something unseen.
Help me!
It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, a breath of sound that sent shivers down their spines.
Did you hear that?
Tom grabbed Lisa's arm, his face pale. Lisa, though scared, felt a prickle of excitement. This was what she had hoped for, wasn't it? A real-life ghost story.
We're not alone.
They followed the whispers, their footsteps echoing in the silence. The voice led them through darkened hallways, past portraits with eyes that seemed to follow them.
Who are you?
Lisa finally called out, her voice trembling slightly. The whispers grew stronger, swirling around them.
I am trapped, bound to this place.
Tom shivered. This was getting creepy, even for him, but Lisa, her fear overshadowed by curiosity, pressed on. They reached a room at the end of a hallway. A chill wind slammed the door shut behind them, plunging them into darkness. Then a faint blue light flickered to life in the center of the room.
A young woman stood before them, her form shimmering like a heat wave. Her eyes, filled with sadness, locked onto Lisa's. I am Eleanor, the ghost whispered, and I need your help.
Eleanor's story unfolded like a forgotten tragedy. She had been wrongly accused of a crime and imprisoned within the walls of Blackwood Manor. Only the key to her old music box, hidden somewhere in the house, could unlock her spiritual chains. The manor, with its creaking floors and whispering walls, held secrets that had been buried for decades. Each room seemed to echo with the sorrow of Eleanor's unjust fate, and the air was thick with the weight of her despair. The key was not just a piece of metal, it was a symbol of her innocence and the hope of her redemption.
Lisa, touched by Eleanor's plight, vowed to help. We'll find it, she promised. She could feel the desperation in Eleanor's ghostly presence, a silent plea that resonated deep within her soul. Lisa knew that this quest was more than just a search for a key. It was a journey to right a terrible wrong. She felt a strange connection to Eleanor, as if their fates were intertwined by some unseen force. The haunted manor, with its dark corners and hidden passages, became a labyrinth of mystery and danger. But Lisa's resolve was unwavering. She would not rest until Eleanor was free.
Tom, though still scared, felt a surge of sympathy for the ghost. He nodded, determined to free Eleanor from her ghostly prison. The fear that had gripped him since entering the manor began to fade, replaced by a sense of purpose. He could see the pain in Eleanor's eyes, a haunting reminder of the injustice she had suffered. Tom's heart ached for her, and he knew that he had to be brave. The search for the key became a mission of redemption, not just for Eleanor, but for himself as well. The manor's shadows seemed less menacing now, as if they too were urging him on. Together, Lisa and Tom ventured deeper into the heart of Blackwood Manor, guided by the hope of freeing a tormented soul and bringing peace to a place long shrouded in darkness. The search for the key led them deep into the bowels of the house. The air was thick with dust and the atmosphere was heavy with an unsettling silence. Every creak of the floorboards beneath their feet seemed to echo through the empty halls, amplifying their sense of dread. They knew that somewhere within this labyrinth of rooms and corridors lay the answers they sought, but the house seemed determined to keep its secrets hidden. They navigated cobweb-laden corridors and creaking staircases, each room colder and more desolate than the last. The walls were lined with faded portraits whose eyes seemed to follow their every move, adding to the eerie feeling that they were not alone. The further they ventured, the more oppressive the atmosphere became, as if the house itself was alive and aware of their presence. The dust in the air made it difficult to breathe. and the darkness seemed to close in around them, making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. Hours seemed to crawl by, each tick of Tom's watch echoing their dwindling hope. The relentless ticking was a constant reminder of the time slipping away, and with it their chances of finding the key. The group grew weary, their initial determination giving way to frustration and despair. The once hopeful glances they exchanged were now replaced with looks of uncertainty and fear. The house seemed to be playing tricks on them, with shadows moving in the corners of their vision and strange noises echoing through the halls.
Just when their resolve began to falter, a faint glimmer of hope appeared. The mist that had been enveloping the hallway seemed to part, revealing a path they had not noticed before. The shadows that had been creeping along the walls seemed to retreat, as if guiding them towards something important. It was as if the house itself was offering them a chance, a final opportunity to uncover its secrets. Lisa stumbled upon a hidden door in the back of a dusty cupboard. Her heart raced as she brushed away the cobwebs and dust, revealing the old wooden door. The others gathered around, their eyes wide with anticipation. Could this be the key they had been searching for? The door was small and unassuming, but it held the promise of answers. Lisa's hands trembled as she reached for the handle, the weight of their quest pressing down on her shoulders. "This has to be it," she said, her voice filled with renewed determination. The group watched in silence as she turned the handle and slowly pushed the door open. The room beyond was dark and musty, but there was a sense of anticipation in the air. They had come so far, and now, finally, they were on the brink of discovering the truth. Lisa stepped through the doorway, her flashlight cutting through the darkness, and the others followed close behind, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and hope.
The hidden door led to a secret room untouched by time. A single ray of moonlight illuminated a beautiful antique music box sitting on a dusty table. Lisa carefully picked it up, her fingers tracing the intricate carvings. As she turned the key, embedded in its side, a soft melody filled the air, sweet and melancholic.
Eleanor's form shimmered, growing brighter with each note. "You found it," she whispered, her voice filled with gratitude.
Eleanor's form began to fade, the blue light flickering like a dying ember.
"Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "You have set me free."
Lisa and Tom watched as the ghostly light disappeared, leaving behind only the soft melody of the music box. The room felt lighter, the oppressive atmosphere lifted. They left the music box on the table, a final tribute to the ghost of Blackwood Manor. Stepping out of Blackwood Manor, the air felt different, almost as if the very atmosphere had shifted. The oppressive weight that had clung to them inside the house seemed to dissipate with each step they took away from the dark doorway. The manor, with its creaking floors and whispering walls, was now behind them, a relic of a night filled with terror and mystery. They took a deep breath of fresh air, the scent of pine and earth filling their lungs, a stark contrast to the musty, stale air of the manor. The misty woods around them seemed to welcome them back to the world of the living, offering a sense of relief and renewal. The fog that had once seemed so foreboding now felt like a protective blanket, shielding them from the horrors they had left behind. The weight of the house finally gone, they felt lighter, as if a great burden had been lifted from their shoulders. The oppressive energy that had surrounded them within the manor's walls was now a distant memory, replaced by the serene beauty of the misty morning. The sun's first rays began to pierce through the fog, casting a gentle glow on their path forward. The old manor seemed less menacing now, almost peaceful. In the soft light of dawn, it was just an old house, its dark secrets hidden away in the shadows. The fog that had once made it appear so eerie now softened its edges, making it look like a relic of a bygone era, a place that had finally found some semblance of peace.
Lisa and Tom walked away, their steps in sync, a silent testament to the bond they had forged through their shared ordeal. They had entered the manor as individuals, each grappling with their own fears, but they left as a united front, stronger and more resilient. The path ahead was uncertain, but they knew they could face it together. The silence no longer unsettling but calm. The forest, once filled with ominous whispers and unseen eyes, now felt like a sanctuary. The birds began to sing, their melodies a soothing balm to their frayed nerves. The rustling leaves and the gentle breeze were no longer harbingers of doom, but signs of life and continuity.
They had faced their fears. The shadows that had loomed large in their minds now seemed smaller, more manageable. The night had tested their courage and resolve, but they had emerged victorious. The darkness that had once seemed impenetrable was now just a memory, a chapter in their lives that had come to a close. Helped a restless spirit find peace. Their actions had not only freed themselves, but also brought solace to a soul trapped in torment. The ghost of Blackwood Manor, once a figure of fear, was now a symbol of redemption and closure. The misty forest which had witnessed their struggle now stood as a silent guardian of their newfound peace, and, in doing so, conquered the haunting of Blackwood Manor. The house that had once been a prison of fear was now just a structure, its power over them broken. They had reclaimed their lives, their sense of self, and their future. The victory was not just over the supernatural, but over their own inner demons. The whispers they knew would forever echo in their memories, a reminder of the night they spent with the ghost of Blackwood Manor. These echoes were not just of fear, but of courage, resilience, and the strength of the human spirit. The dark hallways and shadowy figures were now part of their story, a testament to their journey and their triumph, a reminder of the night they spent with the ghost of Blackwood Manor. It was a night that had changed them, a night that had tested their limits and revealed their true selves. The ghostly presence, once a source of dread, was now a part of their history, a chapter